After a 3-week break for these teams to recuperate after the Stars and Stripes 776, which Casey Campbell won after only 7 cars finished the race, it is time to go dirt track racing once again as we head to the 1 mile Buffalo Downs in Wyoming, the home of the Riggs family. And Brenda Riggs, who has been the best driver at this track ever since her late father-in-law Maxwell Fenton Sr., will be starting out front in round 1. However, she actually inherited the pole after her M&J Racing teammate Taylor Brillin was sent to the back. Taylor Brillin and Lucy Barnton will both be starting from the rear of the field after they got into a set of incidents under caution at the 776. They both had 25 championship points taken away as well, but even with that penalty, Taylor Brillin still holds a rather convincing lead in the title hunt. We have a couple of drivers making their first starts in the ARLA Elite Series presented by Smash Beer today. Mo Lester in the 619 for Racing for the Children. I believe that there's no relation to Peter Irving Gray's sports driver J.W. Lester. And Laura Ocean in the Forever Green car. Both of those drivers actually attempted the 776 but failed to qualify. Jason Bates will be filling in for the injured Alex Carson in the number 2 Smash Beer car as well. The pace van peels off into the pits, leaving the field in the hands of Brenda Riggs, car 67 for M&J Racing. She gets a good start over Bixby Foot, car 14, and right behind her is teammate and daughter Leslie Riggs, both Leslie and Brenda Riggs sporting the horse piss colors this week. Bixby Foot continues to fall back as he comes under attack from Jim Hayes, car 77. Hayes has 2 wins in his rookie year this season, but he's been struggling as of late. Casey Campbell, car 422, the Pocono winner, has a bit of a scare as she runs off the road and almost smashes into that tire wall off of turn 2. And compounding that is a rude shove from the 88 of Kelly Posadas, sending Campbell even further back. Campbell is technically in this car in a shared championship effort with Todd Stater, who, of course, is sitting out for the rest of the year. Taylor Brillin pushes up into Calvin O'Reilly and Barton Sandy as she tries to make her way up through the field after starting in the back. Tanner Clayson, car 79, collected as well. Lucy Barnton gets tagged by Casey Campbell, and here comes Aaron Singer piling into the 84 car. Tanner Clayson and Aaron Singer are going to go out of the race as Taylor Brillin sets herself and Lucy Barnton back as they try to make their way up through the field. Brenda Riggs continues to lead on the restart. Bixby Foot still in 3rd place, so he was able to hold off Jim Hayes before the caution came out. Coming off of turn 2, Brenda Riggs runs a bit wide. Leslie having a look on the bottom, coming down the backstretch. Leslie Riggs was the only member of the Riggs family to win an ARLA Elite Series race at this track. She did it back in 2011 before her accident in the Master Cup race at Daytona. This is Laura Ocean in car number 798 for Forever Green Motorsports. Ocean is making her first start in the series and currently running in 19th place. Her brother Luke Ocean qualified for the Stars and Stripes 776. However, he blew up early on in the race as Laura Ocean now makes contact with Seja Dejel in car 39. So she's apparently not afraid to race hard in her first start. Rachel Rainsford, car 71, running in 7th place. She failed to qualify for Pocono, which set her back in the championship, but now she's trying to salvage as many points as she can, especially with Taylor Brillin, who was her main championship rival for a while, out of the race. Lucy Barnton in the Eicholt's Atlantic 84 car has to pit. She's going to fall a couple laps down as Rip Tyler, the defending series champion, has a look at Jim Hayes for 4th place. Tyler and the rest of his Power Steering Incorporated teammates failed to qualify for Pocono. After that, they were doing a really good job picking it up after their bad luck early on in the season, but of course that mass DNQ by the team has set them back once again. Kyle Gaffigan now having a look at Tyler after he failed to make the move on Jim Hayes. Gaffigan was picked up by Team Thunder this year after being let go by Tom Delgado Racing. Gaffigan, slides up in front of Rip Tyler, and now they're going to have a bit of a difficult time with Tom Brayton. Gaffigan almost turns the 100 car off of turn 4. Rip Tyler goes right back on by. Zach Webster, car 23, currently running in 9th place for the Supercharged Max crew. He's got the lapped car of Lucy Barnton in between him and 10th place Jessica Graham. So Webster not really worried about any opposition right now. Zach Webster was recently signed to the 41 Accelerator Motorsports car for 2014. However, this is going to leave Jack Dempsey, their current driver, looking for a job. Dempsey not driving like he's looking for a new job, currently running 24th place behind Kelly Posadas. Those two have been struggling for most of the day so far. Dempsey's 2013 season has been a struggle after he showed quite a bit of promise in 2012, especially with that 3-race suspension that he was slapped with after Texas. Jessica Graham in the 59 for S-Tech Autosport, running in 10th place, has just gotten around Lucy Barnton, leaving Scott Dalitz to deal with the 84 car. Graham picked up several top 10 finishes in the early part of the season after a horrible 2012. Barton Sandy, car number 92, is out of the race on lap 26. He was involved in the accident on lap 2, struggled ever since, and now the car has finally let go on him. However, that is not an indication of how fast he's been in several other races this season, as Brenda Riggs now has a problem from the lead and has to pit in the 67 car. We're just past halfway, and Riggs has led every single lap. She was well on her way to finally winning a race at her home track, but she's now going to end up a couple of laps down. I'm sure she's hoping for a few quick yellows at this point to get herself back onto the lead lap. In the meantime, her daughter Leslie has taken over the lead, but now she's being challenged by Bixby Foot in the 14. Side by side coming down the backstretch, heading into turn 3, where Leslie Riggs will have the preferred line, as the high side of 3 and 4 is banked quite a bit more as Foot slides up almost into the side of the 50, and Riggs gets back by him. The second caution of the day comes out on lap 32 as Zach Webster has a problem and comes to a stop on the inside, well out of the racing line, but they would still have to throw the caution, get out there and retrieve that 23 car. Brenda Riggs has another problem under this caution, and unfortunately it's going to be terminal. Riggs' day comes to a frustrating end after locking up the most laps led. Leslie Riggs continues to lead on the restart. Bixby Foot still trying to find a way around the 50 car. You saw Taylor Brillen on the inside. She is the first car one lap down. She was put a lap down shortly before the caution came out. Here's Laura Ocean pushing up into John Hawkes while running 17th. Harry Enola backs into the wall, and Barry McIntyre comes flying in, smashes into the back of the 100 at Tom Brayton. Here's Enola running behind this, and he just spins on his own, trying to react to the incident in front of him. Everybody in this wreck would continue on as Laura Ocean does not make a very good impression in her first start. Leslie Riggs still the leader. She gets a good jump over Bixby Foot as we now have 6 laps to go this time by. Riggs is trying to win her first race at Buffalo Downs in 2 years, as we see Kyle Gaffigan in the 07 going at it with Jim Hayes for third. Zach Gott in the 7 car is done on lap 45 with a mechanical issue, as Zach Webster has now blown up. He slows on the track, gets collected by Philip Borland, and that's going to be yet another yellow, as Zach Webster, after making his way up into the top 10, has been plagued by mechanical issues. Philip Borland, in the meantime, hit by Kelly Posadas, who's spun once, but quickly got it together and kept going. Philip Borland was running in 10th last time by, as there's contact between Hawks and Ocean. The leaders would come around to complete the scheduled distance of 50 laps under caution here, but this race is not over yet. It is green-white-checkered time here at Buffalo Downs. The race has now been red flagged. The leaders will be given 10 minutes to have cosmetic repair done to their cars, and now they will be turned loose for a 2-lap shootout. The green flag is in the air once again. Leslie Riggs has just 2 laps to hold off a hungry pack of cars right behind her. The field pours into turn number 1. Leslie Riggs runs wide. I think there was some contact with the 14. 4 wide for the lead. Britt Tyler and Rachel Rainsford joining the battle as well. There's a car around in the back. Yellow flag is out as Riggs now gets shoved off the road. Leslie Riggs stuck on the high side with no momentum. She's going to lose several positions as we're still 3 and 4 wide. Rachel Rainsford and Rip Tyler going for the lead, banging door to door. Coming off of turn 4 and to the caution flag, it's going to be Rip Tyler taking the lead. Rip Tyler now has a shot to win this race after A disappointing last lap for Leslie Riggs. Here's why the caution is out. Richard Scott gets turned around by Scott Dalitz off of turn 2. That was just too many cars going for too small of a space, but that's to be expected in a two-lap shootout such as this. And now we're about to do it all again. Rip Tyler, the defending series champion, has the lead. Rachel Rainsford on his outside. Rainsford has 2 wins this year. Tyler is looking for his first of the season. Heading into turn 1, Gaffigan down to the inside, trying to make a move for second. Oh, there are some cars off. Lev Azarov and Campbell hard into that tire wall. The caution is out once again as we have 3 wide for the lead. Gaffigan, Hayes, and Tyler. Some contact between them. Heading into turn 3, now it's 4 wide. Hayes goes around and into the wall. Contact with Bixby Foot sets off a second wreck on this lap. Tyler still has the lead, coming back to the yellow. Now let's see what happened to Azarov and Campbell. Oh, Robert Nelson in the A9 pushed up into Leslie Riggs, which in turn shoved the 422 and 82 cars off the road. Both of these drivers made up a lot of points after Pocono, but this is going to set them back. And now here's Hayes being sent around after getting caught up in that 4-wide fight for the lead. Philip Borland, car E, and Joel Lennox, car 33, collected as well. Lev Azarov and Casey Campbell would be the only cars eliminated in this whole mess. Oh, and what's this? Jack Dempsey pulls right into the side of Robert Nelson, coming off of turn 4 towards the line that collects John Hawks, the 114 as well. I'm not sure what's going on between Dempsey and Nelson. I certainly didn't see any contacts between those two. Anyway, Rip Tyler leads the field to yet another attempt to get this race finished. Kyle Gaffigan, the 07, sticks his nose ahead. Coming into turn 1, Tyler's coming back after him. And there's contact as Rainsford now makes a charge. Oh, Tyler's off! Along with Bixby Foot, Rainsford, and Gaffigan. Rip Tyler, the race leader, now propped up on top of the tire wall after a very hard hit. Riding on board with Rip Tyler, there was nothing he could have done as Rainsford was spun in front of him, and that just took the top 4 off and into the wall. Fortunately, everyone was okay. As the madness continues further down the track, 4 cars go off on the backstretch. Hawks, Graham, Leslie Riggs, and Kelly Posadas. Graham stuck up against the wall. That car is terminally damaged. Scott Dalitz, car 18, turned around by Calvin Arailer in the 672. He flies back up in front of traffic and takes a ride on Jim Hayes' hood all the way down the backstretch into turn 3. Hayes still pushing on as if Dalitz isn't even on top of his car. That could have ended much worse than it actually did as Dalitz continues on. In the meantime, Harry Esanola has inherited the lead as this latest green-white-checkered attempt has wreaked havoc on the running order. Joel Lennox is in second place. Laura Ocean, the 798, running third with a shot to win in her first start. But Enola, the former Marine drill sergeant, now has a chance to win for the first time since 2010. Enola has quite a bit of speed of his own, but both of his wins in this series have come due to the misfortune of others, and it looks like that could be the case today if he can hang on. Green flag is out for attempt number 4. Laura Ocean peeking to the inside of Enola. 3 wide for the lead through turns 1 and 2. Philip Borland, car number E, making a charge. 4 wide for the lead once again. Contact between Dempsey and Richard Scott, the 27. They both keep it together. No incidents yet as they head into turn number 3. There's contact between Enola and Olenek. The whole field beating off each other, it seems. Off at turn 4, Olenek gets a bit out of shape. Contact with the 798. And now the leaders have taken the white flag. At this point, whatever happens, happens. Enola holds the lead by 2 car lengths over Philip Borland. Richard Scott running third. Borland and Scott have yet to win a race in this series, but they've got to challenge Harry Enola if they want it. Into turn 3, I'm not sure if Enola's opposition is going to have a run at him. It seems that Enola's extending his lead through 3 and 4. Off the final corner, Harry Enola takes his first win since 2010 in a wild finish here at Buffalo Downs. It took 4 restarts to get this whole thing settled, but Enola comes out on top. Enola locked up the high climber bonus as well. He started all the way back in 24th. Philip Borland 2nd, Richard Scott 3rd, Seiji Deschao 4th, John Hawks 5th. A lot of these guys were really nowhere all race until that third attempt at the green-white-checkered, when we had those pile-ups all over the place that absolutely wreaked havoc on the running order. You might have noticed Jack Dempsey in 6th place. He was nowhere until we had those green-white-checkers, so good job to him for making something good out of this day. Taylor Brillen in 23rd with another DNF. She was eliminated at the end of the scheduled distance. Tom Brayton, 24th place, was the last of the cars that were still running. Brenda Riggs, after her mechanical failures, ended up all the way back in 28th. She led the most laps in the race, and Aaron Singer was the first car to go out in that accident on lap 2. We now head over to round number 2, where Libby Bell has taken the pole with Kevin Monroe on her outside. Bell won at Mosport in the green-white-checkered there last month, and now she is looking to make it number 2 as she jumps ahead of Monroe at the start. Oh, Monroe's really falling back. It looks like he got a bad start there. Finkelberg in the 66 moves up to 2nd, as we already have trouble here on the first lap. Chavez in the 35 gets hooked by Dan Lecklater into the 99 of Zachary Zins. Zins goes hard into the tire wall and lazily rolls that car over. Further up the track, we have 4 wide for 3rd place. Ryan Griffin pushes up into Bobby Porteau, the 74 car. Porteau goes into the wall. J.W. Lester, car 5-0, and Lenore Scurry, the 102, are also collected. Bobby Porteau, who has been struggling to finish races this year, is going to go out of the race once again here on lap number 1. Michael Madrigal and AJ Young both had tires go down under caution. They pit to get those changed. Megan Driver, car 40, has a problem and has to pit as well. Kevin Monroe breaks down on the apron in turn 4. He's going to go out of the race as well. Monroe, the 2011 Series champion, failed to qualify for Pocono last week, and this is just going to make his already bad season even worse. In the meantime, Libby Bell continues to lead on the restart. Herbie Finkelberg 2nd. Lucas Sweeney, car number 8, going for 3rd. Sweeney pushes up into Finkelberg, coming through turn 3. Finkelberg now bouncing off the wall, and he's going to lose several positions. A good start to the race for Finkelberg is now going to turn sour after some unnecessarily hard racing from Lucas Sweeney in the early stages. Ryan Matthews goes off the road and smacks the tire wall off of turn number 2. That's going to destroy the 116 car. Matthews is out. Matthews qualified for the 776 last week, but blew up early on in that race. Libby Bell continues to lead the race. Megan Driver in the 40 is a lap down, and she's being a bit of a nuisance as she gets trapped between Joseph and Nick Howard. No relation between those two, and we have a wreck in turn 4. A fairly big wreck, actually. Trey Ashby, Jason Bates, Allie Riggs also involved as Cletus McGuffey slams into the back of the 40 car. McGuffey apparently forgetting what brakes are. Here is Mo Lester in the 619 making his first start. He almost gets through this wreck, but Jason Bates slams into the back of him, propelling the 619 into the back of the 46 of Nick Azure. That's going to take Mo Lester out of the race as well in his debut. The Reverend Mo Lester, we don't believe is related to J.W. Lester, as Libby Bell continues to lead the race. Lucas Sweeney, car 8, hounding her. Lucas Sweeney has a bit of experience on the dirt in his from his tenure in the Farce Modified Series. Andre Kinason, car 78 for Groves Racing, is up to 4th place. Dan Lecklater, the 10L, for his father's team, up to 5th. Good runs for those two so far, especially for Lecklater, who's been needing some good luck this season. Ashley Tucker and Michael Madrigal, 6th and 7th. Madrigal back up into the top 10 after having to pit under that first caution. Ashley Tucker looking to make up some points after her championship rivals, Taylor Brillen and Casey Campbell, were eliminated from round 1. Back in 8th place is Ryan Griffin. He is being hounded by Trey Ashby for that position right now. Ashby not able to make a move on the 86 yet. Oh, he might have a run coming down the backstretch. No, Griffin starts to pull away from Ashby. Ryan Griffin has been trying to redeem himself ever since getting his TM Lights license revoked last year, but he hasn't been doing a great job of that so far. He wrecked Casey Lester pretty blatantly at Mosport and forced the green-white-checkered there, as Nick Azure is being challenged by Herbie Finkelberg and Jason Bates. Contact between the 46 and the 2. Azure's been needing to finish races, but he's putting himself in these battles like that's not really a necessity. Cletus McGuffey has blown up, and for some reason he's missed the pit lane. As he continues to slow down on the track, it looks like he's going to come to a stop on the front stretch. The yellow flag comes out, and McGuffey looks like he's gotten that car fired up again. And this just happened to be a very convenient caution for McGuffey's teammate, Derek Dudding, who probably would have gone a lap down within a couple laps if we had stayed green. Of course, I'm not implying that McGuffey missed the pit lane on purpose to draw the caution. Anyway, Libby Bell continues to lead on the restart. We're going to be working lap 33 of 50 this time by. Libby Bell's led every single one of them. This is the sort of dominance that Brenda Riggs showed in round 1. Now, hopefully Libby Bell won't have a mechanical problem from the lead like Riggs did, as we see Laura Cyrus and Lucas Sweeney dueling for second right behind the 24 car. Sweeney, of course, is going to have the upper hand through 3 and 4 here, but there's contact between the 8 and the 42. Libby Bell's got to be loving that hard racing behind her, as Nick Azure in car 46 breaks down off of turn number 2. He was scored in 9th last time by, as Finkelberg crashes into the back of the 46, sending Azure off and into the wall. And that's going to be the end of the race for both Azure and Finkelberg. That makes yet another DNF for Nick Azure, as Jason Bates and Allie Riggs make contact, fighting for, I believe, the 10th spot. Both cars go into the wall, but Jason Bates loses much more momentum, as here comes AJ Young blasting by the 2 right at the line. Lucas Sweeney has a problem under caution. He's going to go out of the race after running in second for most of the day. Tough break for Lucas Sweeney, the son of two-time ARLA champion Paul Sweeney. With 11 laps to go, Libby Bell continues to lead on the restart. Laura Cyrus is up to second place now, but Dan Lecklater is now hounding the 42 for that second spot. Laura Cyrus was very fast early on in the season, but she fell victim to several crashes, as there's contact now between the 42 and the 10L. Cyrus trying to hold off Lecklater and get another good finish. 3 wide between Ashley Tucker, Andrea Kinasa, and Michael Madrigal. Madrigal now falls back a bit. It seems that he's backed out of this battle. While Tucker and Kinasa fight for 4th place, it looks like Tucker's going to get it, as AJ Young is enjoying a battle for 14th with Allie Riggs. AJ Young clearly has much more straight line speed than the 19 does at the moment. It seems that a knock into the wall has done quite a bit of damage to that 19 car, and AJ Young, right on the back bumper of Allie Riggs, is looking to take advantage of that. However, Riggs still has the upper hand in the corners. Jason Bates running in 13th place right now between Edwin Schwartzlowski and Ramsey Cockiner. Bates, of course, is filling in for the injured Alex Carson for this race, as well as when we head to the Carl Superstore of Riverside in a couple of weeks. With just 2 laps to go, Libby Bell, the leader, is coming up on some lap traffic. Megan Driver in the 40 is very slow. Laura Cyrus right up on the 24's bumper now, heading into turn 3. Bell drifts up into the higher banking, trying to give herself some momentum off of turn 4. Bell will see the white flag this time by, as she tries to get away from Laura Cyrus. That was quite the scare for Libby Bell, as Cyrus did everything she could to try to take advantage, but Libby Bell hangs on to take her second win of the season here at Buffalo Downs. This is exactly what Power Steering Incorporated needed after every single one of their cars failed to qualify for Pocono last week. Libby Bell led all 50 laps on her way to the victory. Laura Cyrus has to settle for second. Dan Lecklater, a very good 3rd place showing for that 10L team. Andrea Canassa locks up the high climber bonus. She started 25th. She finished in 4th. Michael Madrigal gets his second top 5 of the season. His other top 5 was at Williams Grove before we headed up to Canada, so the Pie team clearly has something figured out on the dirt. AJ Young eventually got around Allie Riggs for 14th place. Riggs the last car on the lead lap, and Megan Driver the only car off the lead lap, as everyone behind her fell out of the race. Ryan Matthews in 25th place just barely got his car off the road in turn 2, and unlike Casey Campbell in round 1, he suffered the consequences. And then we have Porto, Chavez, and Zins, who all went out on the first lap of the race. Now let's take a look at the point standings. Leaving Buffalo Downs, Taylor Brillen still holds the lead, but that lead is now down to 55 points as Ashley Tucker moves up into second, Jim Hayes up to third, Campbell, after going out of the race in the green-white-checkers, back to fourth. Dejao, with his fourth place finish, got that 39 car that he shares with Namimura up to seventh place in the standings. You saw Harry Enola jump up to 10th in the Peter Irving Gray car with his win. Enola is one of the much more disciplined drivers in the series thanks to his time in the Marines. That certainly helped him drive smart and get through the madness that was the round 1 green-white-checkers. Laura Cyrus, car 42, back up into the top 30 in the points with her second place finish. Richard Scott up to 29th place with his finish in the first round. Ryan Griffin and Trey Ashby were battling on track for a while. They are now tied for 35th in the point standings. Michael Madrigal has made his way up into the top 40, and Lenore Scurry, car number 102, is 40th.